Joining me now here on TVP World is none other than Dr. Jacek Raubo from Defence24. Mr. Raubo, thanks for having us today. We appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure for me.
All right, now looking at the event, this is the largest security forum in this part of Europe, in Poland, of course, as well. So let's start there. Maybe a few words about why this conference is so important.
Truly, there is no surprise because we as organizers are watching a situation around Poland, and there is only one observation. We are living in a very problematic environment from the security and defense side. We know what is going on with Russian aggression against Ukraine, but also we see even today how Russia is trying to affect our own stabilization, our security, by using some operation below the threshold of war. Russia is a very aggressive actor, and this is no surprise that there is a lot of discussions dedicated to how to counter Russian movements, but also how to build effective military forces from the European side, from Polish side, from the transatlantic side, because we need to have a synergy. And I think this is the key element of this kind of debate and event. We need to congregate people from the different sides to create one formula to understand each other and to have this kind of a lessons learned for the future defense and security system, not only in Poland, but also in our region.
Right, now concerning that, it seems to me it would be a good idea to invite some of the skeptics, some of the people that Poland needs to convince that increased defense spending is in the whole entire continent's interest. Do you guys do a bit of that?
I think we are sending this signal to all of the public and to audience also who are not really dedicated to these types of debates, because we as a Defence24 are providing not only a very specialist analysis, but also we are trying to cover some information zone and to be also a part of a resilience. Because generally, right now, when we think about information sphere, this is a normal field for the combat actions, not only during the war, but also during the peacetime. Russia or even China, they are trying to be very influential in our info domain. That's why this kind of messages coming from our panels, where we are not always agree with all panelists, is very important, because we are presenting that this is a very diverse picture of our points of view, and we are trying to build a common field, because of course we can disagree which plane is better, which tank is better. But on the other hand, I think this is also a very interesting thing coming from Poland. Polish society is approving this spending to strength, military to strength defense. Of course, we can disagree. We can build some divisions by political background, but on the other hand, the day after, I think the majority is strengthening and supporting the strengthening of military and defense sector.
Right, now when we looked at the Minister of Defense, the Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, as well as Foreign Minister Sikorski, when they spoke at the panel earlier today.
It was a fantastic panel. I think very strong, with a lot of important issues covered by both ministers.
Right. Well, there's really a lot of points to discuss there, but the ones that stick out most for me is using some of the money, right, that is not allocated necessarily right now due to the deadlines in the KPO or the post-COVID pandemic recovery fund from the EU, which are essentially low-interest loans to build capacity here in Poland for production of military equipment and ammunition, of course, which is super important. How successful do you think the Polish government is going to be in getting the European Commission to agree to this, or I don't know if it's in the Commission or if it's more in the Parliament.
Truly, I think we are touching a very important thing because this is not only the Polish case. I think the whole European Union is right now reforming the approach to military defense. And I'm not talking about building, for instance, some QRF forces, quick response forces from European side. I'm talking mostly about the capacity and this holistic capabilities of military industry. And I think money and budget is always a game changer. When we will be able to find a solution for more spendings, for more investment, not only in building more munition production, but also investing in AI, artificial intelligence, or the whole emerging and disruptive technologies, we'll be able to be more strong and more resilient in the context of Russian threat, in the context of other threats, because we need to right now think about the security not only as Russian factor, dedicated Russian factor. We need to think about 360 degree and very specific forms of financial aspects need to be placed there. So I'm very happy and I'm very proud that Poland is right now also to strengthen this, is in the mainstream of the strengthening the European Union approach to defense and security spendings.
Yeah, it was also pointed out that here in Poland, Poland's security relies heavily on the United States and the United Kingdom, which is no longer a member of the European Union. So therefore, I also believe after seeing that panel that the Polish government has made that decision and it firmly knows that Europeans have to vastly increase the amount of investment in its own security.
I fully agree with you, but we need to use two perspectives. First, from Minister Krishna Kamish, MOD chief, he emphasized during the panels that we have two pillars, NATO and European Union, and we need to find a synergy between both of them, because Poland is the biggest advocate of strengthening both. To strengthen strategic relation with US and strategic relation with Germany or France, European Union, etc. On the other hand, and I fully agree with that, Minister Sikorski underlined that every American president, I'm not talking about, I don't know, Trump or Biden, every American president in the future will have this problem that US need to balance their approach to Indo-PACOM, also to Africa, with these forms of boots on the ground here in Europe. So we cannot place right now hypothesis that we will be dependent on US support. We need to build our European pillar. And this is our task for the future, task of next generation, but also this situation right now.
Right, and well, he was also probably referring to this rapid response force that they want to set up within the European Union.
Generally, this is a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
Why? Because first of all, we would like to see NATO focusing on Article 5 issues. But on the other hand, as I mentioned before, 360 degree, we need to look what is going on, for instance, in North or Central African states, and we need to have also capabilities to provide them, for instance, training, military training, or some other counter-terrorism mission there. So we cannot right now think that we will get some resources from NATO and we will weaken our presence here on the eastern flank to put these soldiers or to this mission somewhere in Africa because we would like to see effective NATO in transatlantic region and effective European Union in support of stabilization, peace efforts in our neighborhood.
Region, yeah, exactly. Absolutely, it makes total sense. And therefore, well, from that sense, this rapid response force would, let me say this again. So in that sense, the rapid response force would not be countering any Russian threats, but it'd be more involved, say, for deployment in Africa.
I think we cannot forget. We can't forget that still we are struggling with other threats, terrorism. Some destabilization of the various partners, also with Russian background. So when we'd like to counter, for instance, PMC Wagner in Africa, right. We need to have a tool A toll might be dedicated to the QRF forces or rapid expeditionary forces. We can name them differently, but we need to have a toll. We need to have some maybe more maneuverable, more airborne or more light infantry forms of units which we can provide to our partners. I'm not talking about sending there without approval of state, but to provide some support, to provide training. This is very important to have these capabilities in the future from the European side and also from the global side, because with, for instance, strengthening our European approach to Africa, we will see more development of stabilization, countering terrorism, countering radicals, and it is connected with the global situation, not only with European defense.
Right, certainly. Well, Dr. Jacek Raubo, analyst for Defence24, thank you very much for having us here and talking with us on TV.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.